How you doing, Duff here? And what you see here is my Backfire skateboard, my Backfire Ranger X1 to be specific. And you see an extra set of tires. If you've seen any of my previous Backfire Ranger X1 videos, you'll know that overall I like the board. I think it's a pretty cool piece of tech. But one of the things that you've heard me consistently complain about is the tire noise. There's a very annoying rubbing / scrubbing noise that you hear when you're riding the board on hard surfaces, and it's something that's been widely reported by a bunch of Ranger X1 owners. So I had an email in with tech support. I believe his name is Jerry, and because I contacted him originally when I had the problem, and I said, hey, are you guys going to be trying to do anything to fix this? And I heard through the Backfire group on Facebook that they did come out with a new tire for the Ranger X1, and I contacted Jerry, and he actually sent me a pair of them. And right here you can see the old versus the new. Obviously the tread is different. We'll see what it looks like on the inside, but I believe the inside looks different as well. So I'm going to try to get those on here today and see how much fun it is. It's interesting, while I had it on the table like this, I just did a spin test just to compare spinning resistance. So here's the one side, still going. This side, not very good, huh? So I don't know if it's too tight, too loose. During this process I'll see if I can get that any better, but there should not be such a disparity in spinning resistance here. Maybe I need a different bearing for that side as well, so I might be sending a copy of this video to Jerry to see if I can get some bearings as well, depending on how it works out. So what I've done so far is I took out the little black screws around the hub here. I just loosened this nut here with the 14mm socket, and I'm going to try to get the wheel off. Originally I thought that maybe I was able to do this while it was still in the trucks, and yeah, no, that's not going to happen. So let me get this off. I'm curious what's involved with getting this hubcap off. It's amazing how heavy this thing is. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, I guess I've heard of multiple people swapping these out for damn, what are they called? Tapper wheels? No, I think there's a UK company that people are putting Traxxas, maybe. I'll look it up. But they're putting those on the front, and to get some weight savings, because these things, this feels like a discus. It's so heavy. So alright, so I want to see how I get cover off. I'm not sure. Let me get back to you when I have a little bit more information. Alright, I just watched Domo's rather psychedelic video on how to do this on the Backfire group on Facebook. He actually, in his example, he actually left it on the truck, so I probably could have done it. The trick is getting this hub off. It's really wedged on there. So I used a combination of my trim pry tool and a screwdriver on the other side just to work it loose slowly, ever so slowly. So now you're left with this, which again, according to Domo's video, you should just be able to work off with your fingers. And he kind of made a joke about it being a pain in the ass, but I don't think that's a joke. I think it is going to be a major pain in the ass. So let me fight with this a little bit and see what we come up with. And actually, I'm just thinking about that. I don't know. I think I have to release this on both sides, really, because if this is pinching the tire down on this side, I wouldn't be able to work it off anyway. So I'm gonna take these bolts out too. Logically, that seems to make sense to me. When you're taking these little hub cover screws off, some of them can be quite tight. So you want to prevent strippage. You want to really press down hard on it. I'm just looking at this. Is this an Allen or is this a freaking star? I think that's actually a star fitting. Okay, well that could explain it. Let me verify that. Yeah, these are actually T15s. I think I was just lucky that I got it out with an Allen bit on the first side, because the first side didn't seem quite as tight as this side. So yeah, use a T15 bit. Else you will strip it. I'm very lucky that I did not strip it. It's nice to get lucky once in a while. I wasn't very lucky yesterday with my computer problem. I went and bought a power supply thinking that my power supply was dead, and bought one, went home, put it in, went through a lot of hassle putting it in, and it wasn't the power supply. Evidently the system board on my old system was dead. I can't be without a PC for a prolonged period of time, so I just went out and bought another PC. And spent most of last night trying to reload it. Fun times. Alright, so when you have it disassembled to this point, you can just pop out that hub. Alright. So now I've just got the tire on the rim. Man, oh man, this rubber is so stiff. How in the world? Alright, well this should be a fun time getting this off. Alright, I'm using my tire spoons, tire levers that I employed for my tire change, or my monster inner tube change, to get it started. But man, this stuff is so stiff. Oh my goodness. Alright. Thanks to the tire lever, that is off. Alright, so we do some more comparison between old and new. The inside structure on the new one looks a little bit more substantial than what's on the old one. Let's see, probably want to roll that way. Tread facing back. Okay. Alright, so now I'm sure this will slide on like super easy, right? Should not be a problem at all. Wow. Yeah, this freaking sucks, man. I'm not sure how Domo got that on with his hands, if he heated up this rubber or what, but I am really struggling. Really struggling. Got my pry tools out and I'm still not able to get this sucker on. Oh my god, it's on. I don't even know that I could tell you exactly how I did it. It's a combination of me leaning on it with my weight and using tire irons to just get it to the point where I could finish it with my fingers. Oh my god, what a pain in the ass. I mean, unless you really enjoy punishment, I don't know that I can recommend going through this. This was incredibly difficult to get on. And hopefully the prying I did didn't make this one out of round as well. It'd be a kick in the head, wouldn't it? So it is on, and then at this point I need to put the hubs back on. So let me do that. And as I'm lining this up, I'm first pushing this in with my hand just to make sure it's seated in the groove here. You know, the hub should be seated in there, so make sure you pay attention to that. Okay, I have the back hub cover on. Now I need to put the front one on, remount it, and then yeah, do the same thing on the other side. Should be great, huh? I can hardly wait. As I'm putting this other side in, you can hear like little pops as it as the hub cover snaps in place correctly in that little ridge. Alright, so this side's almost, yeah, that crack right there. Alright, so this one's almost done. Now we're gonna do the other one. So whoever in China is the one that puts the rubber tires on the X1 wheels all day long must have forearms of steel, because it's, man, that was such a fight. I assume that they do it mechanically with a press or something, but man, trying to do that by hand was not fun at all. I'm just going around here like lug nuts on a car, just going around in a star pattern, making sure all these are tight. Alright, so this should slide on. There's a square part of this bearing. You have to make sure that that goes onto the square part of the truck here, like that. Put the nut back on. And yeah, one side done. It's interesting that it's not spinning as freely as it was. Why would that be? Okay, got the other one off. I'm sure it's going to be tremendously easier this time. Tremendously easier. I mean, it should be somewhat easier, to be serious, but I don't think it'll be easy. Again, the hub screws on the back side of this wheel, the side that goes towards the trucks, they're tremendously more tight than the ones on the other side. I'm not sure what the reason for that is, but it's like night and day. And actually, I should be more accurate. It's not only like 4 of these were super tight, and 4 of them were about the same as the front. So they're not torqued an even amount for some reason. Huh, interesting. So I haven't done anything to this wheel yet. All I did was I have all of the hub screws out. Look how this thing spins now. So the tightness on the bearing, see, now that one doesn't spin as well. It almost seems like it has to do with how tight these caps are. Yeah, that's spinning like this one was, which doesn't spin like that anymore. Huh. Wow. You ever need to loosen them up? That's very interesting. Okay, got both of the hub covers off. Now let's take off the wheel or the tire. I mean, I do get a little bit of Domo's technique, how he's doing it, but it still does not mean that it's fun or easy. I don't think I've ever had any experience when it comes to doing tires on anything. Bike, car, electric unicycle, now skateboard, where I've found it to be a fun and easy experience. Actually, I lie. The only exception has been I had to change the tube on my Dualtron 2EX, and their design is like fantastic. It's so easy. The hub presses together. You just remove a plate, and the tire just comes right off. And then to put the tire back on, you just slide it onto that plate, onto the hub. Use the pressure plate, puts it on, and it's no bubbles, no troubles. Unlike this. Okay, it's almost off. Don't need to do forearms at the gym this week. Okay, there you go. So now simply reverse that process, right? Easy. I think I actually have it started. Just a combination of using the tire irons to create some space, and then applying body weight. And it's not all the way on, but it's started. So from that point, you can just kind of use your body weight to get it all the way on. Whew. Alright, tire number 2 is on. Alright, I'm just finishing up tightening the bolts here. I find that very interesting how the amount of free spin on the wheel seem to have a direct correlation to how tight these nuts were. because I'm wondering, like, if it's if it's off a little bit the way that it's seated, that it puts a little bit, if it's not totally flush, that it's put like a twisting force on the bearing maybe that causes the additional rolling resistance. So let me just put this on here. So now, I mean, I have these tight obviously, but I did not, you know, crank on them with an air wrench like some of those felt like they were put on originally. I'm just curious how this will spin now. Huh, yeah. Now that those are tight, neither of them free spin very well, but at least they're about the same resistance. Huh, interesting. Like I said, I want to show this video to Jerry from Backfire and see what his feedback is. Alright, so I'm going to put the nut on. So next step is to take it outside and see if it sounds any different. After all that hassle, I sure hope it does. Alright, we're now outside. So see what we hear. Well, I think the fronts sound better. I don't hear the same scrubbing noise from the front. I do hear the same scrubbing noise from the back. So yeah, it does. It does not. It definitely sounds different than it did. Well, I'm not sure if I can capture it accurately on the GoPro. Let me try again. So can you hear that difference? Yeah, that noise you heard from the back is how the front sounded as well. I do not hear that in the front right now. I mean, I hear rubber hitting the road in the front, but just not the unevenness that I had before. Definitely still hear it from the back, but I do not hear it from the front. Alright, so what do we learn from this experience? First of all, changing tires on the Ranger X1 is not a trivial thing. It's not easy. I definitely struggled a lot more than Domo, who appeared to do it just with his hands. I'm not quite sure how he pulled that off. You know, I utilized these tire irons, and they did the job after coming up with the right combination of brute force and leverage. The new tires do appear to be less noisy. There seems to be some sort of direct correlation with how your hub cover screws are attached and the amount of free spin you get out of your bearings. It seems the looser they are, the more free spin you'll get, but I guess that could be a bad thing as far as safety goes if they would come loose. So I'm not sure where to go from here. I guess I'll contact Jerry and let him know that the new tires did fix my problem. I have a feeling putting them on the motor side in the back, on the hub motors, probably is even less fun than doing it on the front. I don't think it would be significantly harder. Well, you know, it would be harder. It would definitely be harder. I don't even know that if I want to tackle it or not, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just glad that I'm done. Yeah, there's a point during that process where I was almost ready to just say, you know, screw it and walk away and maybe come back at a later time, just because it was getting very frustrating. But luckily I did persevere and get those tires on. And so if you are having tire noise problems, I said before I even started this process that it always sounded to me like I had noise coming from the front and the back. So if that's the case, your only fix is going to be to get all four of them, unfortunately. So really what I'd like to do is just have them send me a complete wheel assembly. It'd be great if you could just swap the wheel and the tires, send it back to Backfire, and they just send you a complete assembly, so you don't have to go through this hassle of swapping it yourself, because it is a hassle, without a doubt. So anyways, that's all I have for you for now. If you found this video interesting, helpful, comedic, hilarious, ridiculous, please give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please consider subscribing, and that's all I have for you for now. Yeah, that's it. I'll talk to you again soon. Till next time, duck me now. Look what I just found on the ground. Metallic washer looking thing. Guess I need to open up a wheel and see if it came off. Son of a bitch.